Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker, and I'm live from Old People's Town in Florida. Still here visiting the family, taking care of my father, and hopefully we'll get everything squared away here, get him settled in. We've got nurses coming in every other day and therapists coming every other day from that, and a doctor coming by once a week to check on his health. So there's somebody here just about every day to assist with my mom looking after him. So all that's doing well. Let's jump right into it today so we don't take too long. I'm still kind of doing everything from a laptop, so it's not ideal. And please forgive the microphone sound. Okay, so first story. What happens when you're an older guy, and you have a young something that wants to date you? Either A, maybe she's got I don't know, a thing for older guys. Or if you're much older, maybe she's got a thing for your money. And this, I can't ever say the words sugar and, of course, father. I could call it either a sugar father or a splendid daddy, thanks to YouTube. But he was shocked he turns out his fiancee was a professional and had 3 sessions a day up until meeting him, and that's how she got all his money, or all her money. I guess she was going for his money after all. So he didn't vet her very well, and he's paying the price for it. And, here's the thing. There are younger women that date older guys for many, many different reasons, and there are many times older guys date younger women. Again, usually men date down for youth and vitality and beauty and lower body counts and less baggage, and women date guys that are more successful for their intelligence, for their knowledge, for their money, for their financial situation. But also, most of the time, once guys get a little bit older, they're kind of done with their wild phase and they're ready to settle in. So this is coming from the Sun, and I guess this is a picture of the couple. I wasn't exactly sure, but the thing of it is, they have regular photo credits. They don't credit any of the stock photo, because usually they'll say like iStock photo, or they'll say one of the iStock sites. They don't say that here. They give photo credits to photographers. So that makes me think this is the actual couple. I try to do a little bit of investigation on this stuff as I can, especially when it comes from the Sun, which is basically nothing more than a tabloid. But it says, happily never after. I found out my fiance used to be an escort and sleep with 3 men a day, and now I feel like an idiot. Yeah, here's the thing. This is number one, why I say don't get married, because what if you make a horrendous mistake? And at the end of this video, for those of you on Locals, or in another video for those of you on YouTube, because I do the long form over on Locals and chop it up here on YouTube, I talk about this a little bit, where Evie Magazine kind of makes fun of the red pill content manosphere. And she's like, hey, a lot of this is your fault, and I'm going to have to call them out on that. But anyway, so they say, we all have secrets, some darker than others, and some we would never share with anyone. But one man is now considering calling off the wedding with his fiancée after finding out she used to be an escort in the past. Now, here's the thing. He's not a bad-looking guy, but granted, he's got like the Colonel Sanders hair thing going on. But for his age, whatever that is, he's not too bad looking a guy, but she's obviously way, way younger than he is. Probably we're talking, it looks to be 30 to 40 years. This is a pretty big gap. So you have to ask yourself, when you get into a situation like this, is it a rent or a buy? My advice is always it's a rent situation, because, there's probably some ulterior motive why she's with you. And it may take several years for the actual reasons to come out. But they say the couple's wedding is set to take place in February, but now the husband-to-be is unsure of their future. Look, buddy, if you're not sure of your future after finding out she used to be a professional, more power to you. You're going to need help. And, I do these videos because, number one, they're fun stories. As a content creator, a lot of people don't understand when you have to come up with a video or 2 or 3 a day. If you look at someone like Jeremy over at The Quartering, or you look at Tim Pool, and it doesn't matter whether you like him or not, that's not my point. I do like Jeremy over at The Quartering. You kind of look, and like a lot of his videos are just pulled from like here's what's going on Twitter today or the news or things like that, it is incredibly hard to come up with content. One of the things I like doing these stories for is, number one, it's a red pill suppository for you. It's like, here's another instance of things going bad, and you get another red pill for the day. But the second is that there is always something to be learned from these things. And rather just sitting here for 5 or 10 minutes saying, okay, guys, here's what I'm gonna explain today. This is kind of fun because it lets me tie them all in together. Well, this is another circumstance where, with women acting poorly the way they do, and with them masking, and that's what she did to him, with them masking and pretending that they're have a low body count, it's getting tougher and tougher to find a good one. And so when we talk on a video and guys say, hey, you know what? Women are out there and they're saying, women are saying, it doesn't matter your body count. And women can be like guys and go out be with everybody that they want to. And then men come back and they say, man, don't do that. Like, date her for a while. Make sure that she values the intimacy you guys are going to have. And so women find out that guys are looking for that. And so they lie about it. And they're like, oh yeah, I have a low body count. And we need to wait until I'm really into this relationship. And they're lying about it. And I've done a couple videos about that. And here's an example of her doing it. A heartbroken 35-year-old posted his sorrows, seeking some advice from other readers around the world. According to the groom, he's been with his fiancee, Diana, for 2 years and have been engaged for 8 months, with their wedding coming up in February. The two seem, or at least seemed to be up until this moment, the perfect match. They both enjoy skiing, traveling, and trying new restaurants whenever the opportunity arises. Diana is a beautiful woman, both inside and out, he wrote. She has a very lively personality and is definitely the most attractive woman I've dated, confessed the man, adding that it was she who actually asked him out first. And again, I get people that say, it never happens, but there are younger women that will ask older guys out. I read a story from one of you guys that's pretty much a bodybuilder, a workout a lot. And even though you're in your mid-50s, you're at the gym and women will converse with you and kind of flirt because you're in really good shape and good looking and take care of yourself. It can happen. Are all women like that? No, but if it's only a subset of 5 or 10%, it's still going to happen to you. So she asked him out. They seem to have a lot in common. And here's the thing. He said she's beautiful and she enjoys skiing and traveling and trying new restaurants. Well, all those things probably cost money, and I'm imagining it's his money that they're using. But they say the trouble in paradise began when one day he started to receive anonymous messages containing screenshots from an escort agency. The person's face in the photos, these were roughly from 8 years ago, had been blurred out, but one thing was for sure, it was Diana. Now, maybe I don't know, when you have been with a woman for, at least like they say, a couple of years, you know her body well enough to know, hey, that mole matches up and the areolas match. Yeah, I'm not sure if I need to skip that word on YouTube or not, probably not. But the old nips match, the looks and the hair's right and her body, you can tell. And so he said even though escort business is legal where the two live, he admitted to being completely devastated. At first, I didn't believe it, but when I confronted her, she confirmed it. So at least she did the right thing and say, yeah, you caught me. But you notice it never came out first. And this is what's happening with OnlyFans and with all these women working on these sites, is that you don't find out until you're committed to a woman, which is why, like I say, with the way things are today, you don't want to get married and then be legally tied to a person that could have lied or manipulated you. Now, women can say the same thing about men, like, women don't marry men because then you're legally tied to somebody that can manipulate you. The difference is the woman can still leave and she gets to keep some of your cash and prizes. In most cases, it's the guys that lose the assets when things go south. So it's not really a risk for women. He said, once asked to explain, Diana revealed her secret. She did escorting for a high-end agency for 2 years until she was 22. So from 20 to 22, she did it. After sleeping with 2-3 men a day and making a lot of money, the now 30-year-old quit. She started to hate the work, he wrote. Okay, so I guess they're saying the now 30-year-old had quit between 20 and 22, so it was 8 years ago. Now let's think about this. They say 2 to 3 men a day. Let's take an average of 2 men a day. 365 days a year. That's what, 730? Is that right? 350, 360. Yeah, it's like 730 guys a year, and she did it for 2 years. That puts her body count roughly at 1,460, give or take. Way too many. So can you imagine having a wife that's got a body count up in the 1400s? You know there's no pair bonding. You know she doesn't love you. You know, I mean, she's got to be an actress in the bedroom, because after that many, now maybe they can, but I have a hard time imagining she's really into him, especially again when he's kind of got the Colonel Sanders thing going on and she's kind of a beauty. They continue on. Although severely distraught, the man said he didn't believe his potential wife should be shamed for her past career. Okay, so he's not giving her a hard time about it, but he also revealed that if he had known about the previous life, he wouldn't have pursued a relationship. And that's why all the women that are going out and doing the OnlyFans and doing the sketch photos and coming out of college with body counts into the 30s, that's why they're lying. Because they want to go out, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to go out and do the bad things, but then they still want the good guy. And the problem with that is, you know, if you want to go out and have your fun, like, go have it. But you got to be honest with the person you're with and at least explain your past. And you know what? Give them the right to say, hey, you know what? Like he says, I'm not going to shame you about it, but you're not the right person for me. But when she decides to lie and hide it, she's keeping it from him and not giving him the right to make, or the ability to make the right decision. So they continue on to make things even more upsetting. Diana had also agreed to only sleep with him once the two were serious, leaving him with the false impression that she viewed intimacy a certain way. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the point in this story I read, and I'm like, okay, this is something to talk about, because women are still, you know, I do these videos, and I say, hey, women, don't go out there and notch up a high body count. Like, save yourself for the right guy. And, you know, if it is really the right guy and you really love him and you really care for him and you say, I want to be with this guy forever, you don't need marriage. You really don't. Marriage is a basically just a legal binding contract that locks the guy down into the relationship, but it does nothing to lock the woman down. So of course women are going to say, oh, I want to get married. It's a great deal. No, I don't think so. And that's why we don't do it. But these women know that guys do not want the town bicycle where everybody's had a ride. And so they say, you know what? But I don't want to stop going out and having fun with these good-looking guys. I don't want to stop the party. So I'm just going to lie about my past. And when they do that, this is what happens. And imagine if this guy didn't get the messages and didn't find out. He says, now I just feel like an idiot, he wrote. Lastly, the man continued, I own several businesses in the area, many with business partners. Okay, so now we know he's successful. And this starts putting together the picture of this. Why would and again, this says, this has a photo credit. It doesn't say anything about a stock photo. I didn't do a Google reverse image search, which I suppose I could have. But if this is what she looks like, you have to stop and go, okay, I look like pretty good average, or pretty good looking for my age. However, Colonel Sanders hair thing going on. And she looks like this. Why would she be into me? And you can try to convince yourself all you want that she thinks that you're devastatingly handsome and you're interesting, and maybe she does. But the financial part of it is going to be part of it if she knows about your businesses and your income. So again, I'm not harshing either one of them I'm harshing on her for hiding her past, but she did what she did. If she'd just been honest with him and let him do the right decision. But here's the thing. This should be a rental situation or a date forever situation, because once you're married, now she has access to your businesses and your other things. He said, these partners, he explained, my business partners, are pretty conservative when it comes to anything bedroom related. I would have wanted to know about her past career ahead of time so that I could have thought how to deal with the potential fallout, or more than likely not date her at all. Tempted to call off the soon-to-take-place wedding, the groom's been left devastated. He said, you deserve to be with someone who makes you feel comfortable, and she deserves to be with someone who accepts her for who she is how one person felt about the situation. So, again, this is what's happening now. Is I think there's enough, manosphere and red pill content out there that women are coming across it, and they hear us saying, ladies, we do not like it, you're fun, and you're pretty, and yeah, well, lots of guys are willing to sleep with you if you have a high body count, but we do not want to wife you up. We do not want to date you long term. We don't want to fall in love with you. You're just a recreational toy because you've made those rules yourself. You've made yourself available to too many men as a recreational toy, and no man wants to be seriously involved with one. So they're learning. But again, it's the me generation. It's the selfish generation. And instead of altering their behavior, like a lot of guys would like them to, so they could say, hey, she's a little more conservative. She doesn't put herself out there. No, instead of modifying their behavior, all they're doing is lying about their past now. And as this continues, this just goes, it's more feed to why men are not willing to marry women or get in long-term relationships, because so many of them are expressing pasts like this.